episode 37 of Fish and Grits, the podcast. As always, I'm Ryan. I'm joined by my co-hosts,
Marco
and Micah.
And today, first of all, we welcome you back to the second game of a back-to-back. A little unusual for us. You usually catch us once a week. Now you got us 2 nights in 1 week. It's because we had 2 very special guests this week. Yesterday, of course, you got to listen to Reggie Ball. Today, we're bringing you someone that literally represents the home team. He's a guest that has helped build their brand from the ground up, amassing just shy of 300,000 followers on Instagram and a whopping 1.5 million on Twitter. We bring to you one of the co-founders and the marketing manager of your very own GA Followers, Jeremy Jones.
You.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Happy to be here, man. Have some fun.
That's what we're all about, man. We don't take ourselves too seriously.
Except for me.
I'm a very serious man. So yeah, welcome to the show. You know, we're happy to have you on. We'll get to know a little bit about you and let our followers and our listeners know a little bit about yourself, who Georgia Followers are, who you've been, and where you're going.
Yeah, man.
Oh, go for it.
Okay. Oh no, I was just about to say, it's been an amazing journey. We've been running GA Followers for 10 years, and it's a lot of excitement, a lot of content that's been posted. It started off slow at first, but like lately we've been able to like snowball our following, and yeah, man, it's exciting. What were you about to say? I feel like I cut you off.
Nothing important. I was just going to say there's a lot of content. You got a lot of tweets and a lot of posts out there on Instagram.
But yeah, before we get to Georgia Followers, we like to get to know you, find out a little bit about your background. So the upcoming questions, you want me to get the first one, right?
Go for it, man. Knock it out.
Cool. So Jeremy, like you said, welcome to the show. So in our pre show thing, we sort of heard that you moved to Georgia a while ago, but that you weren't necessarily from here. So give us a little bit of your background and just tell us where you grew up, where you're from, and then how you ended up in Georgia.
Yeah, man. So I was born in Mobile, Alabama, and my dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot when I was younger. And my mom was living in Atlanta most of the time. So after probably around like 15, I was living with my dad up until that point, and then I ended up moving with my mom. And she lived in Atlanta, and so I like through middle school, high school, I was in Atlanta. And once I graduated high school, I went to DC to go to the Art Institute for music production. And I was rapping at the time.
Okay.
And,
what'd you go by? What was your rap name?
Young Pop.
Young Pop?
Young Pop, yep.
Okay.
So it's interesting, I was making like videos when I was in DC. I was making a lot of videos on Facebook, and I was getting a lot of traction. Like people were stopping me out in public. Like I had Big Boy from Outkast was kind of like looking at me, and that's kind of how I made the connection with him up front. And then I wanted to find a way to like promote my music, and that's kind of where like the inception for GA Followers came, because I wanted to like promote my music to locals, and because in my mind I was like, if I could blow locally, then I could blow globally or countrywide. So,
real quick. So you said, how did you get like the attention of like Big Boy and all these people before you decided to really get serious about promoting?
Yeah, well, it was really just Big Boy. It wasn't like too many other people, but like I had my mom had a connection with him. Like my mom got her hair done by his ex-wife or something like that, and ended up showing one of my videos to him, and he liked it. So he started reaching out, and he ended up coming over to my house for like Thanksgiving one year.
Oh wow!
Played spades with us, and yeah, man, and like that's when. But like I needed to find a way to market my music, so that's why I created I actually created DMV followers first, which stands for DC, Maryland, Virginia, when I was up in DC, and because I had ties here in Atlanta, I created Georgia followers too because I went to middle school and high school here, and I understood the culture. Um, so yeah, I created both those pages to promote my music, and what I found out was like people really weren't into my music as much as they were into like the news, sports, and music. So I just kind of like focused on what people were sharing and what people were interested into.
What high school do you go to here in Georgia?
Jonesboro, in Clayton County.
Jonesboro.
Clay coat.
I was an assistant
Yeah,
coach for the girls team down there for a while.
Yeah, you said the girls team?
Yeah, the girls basketball team.
Yeah, they're nice. They were nice at least.
Yeah, I mean, at that time they were state contending. They were Sweet 16 and beyond every year. They were so good.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So, like, I see that your degree at Georgia State, I believe, is in marketing, and you are the marketing manager for Georgia Followers. How did you get into that?
That I just put on LinkedIn. Like that I'm not I never finished Georgia State, never got my degree, but and then marketing man, I used to just put like I haven't updated my LinkedIn in a minute, but I would put marketing manager on there just so like I don't know. I had an idea like I didn't want people to know that I was the owner at one point, so like I wanted people to think that I worked for it, but like
Right.
I don't.
That was a bit confusing because I was looking. I was like, I thought Jeremy was like the founder of this, and then you go to LinkedIn and it says you're the marketing manager, and Joshua is listed as the CEO. I'm like, so
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you did go to Georgia State?
It was Josh.
I said you went to Georgia State for a second.
Yeah. I went to Georgia State for like 3 years. Honestly, I should have finished.
Okay. What was that time period?
That was between I want to say 2012 to 2014, maybe.
Okay, so I missed you. I just missed you.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you went. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was fun, but like I just never really liked school. So when I had this thing going, I was like, man, do I really want to continue this or just try my luck with Georgia Followers?
Right.
And I rolled the dice.
It was a good roll.
All right. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, man, it's been so yeah. I mean, I went to Georgia State for a minute, and it was interesting because after I went to Georgia State, really your parents are the ones who are telling you to go to school, get your degree, and once I was like, I don't really want to go to school anymore. I had to really like prove myself that Georgia Followers was something like worth, focusing on all, spending all this time on. And yeah, like I mean, those few years after were pretty tough. I was kind of working hard, and I started to earn the trust from my family members, and I don't know. Ever since then, I've just been kind of doing it.
So you're, as you're saying, wait, Mike, you want that one? Go ahead, go with that one.
Yeah. So before you got it, before the Georgia Followers really started to get big, like where did you see your life going? You talked about rapping, but was that what you were the direction you wanted to go?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't have too much of a plan, bro. Like out of high school, like I just was trying to figure out stuff. I was rapping, I was working at retail stores. And yeah, I don't know. I really didn't like I always knew I was on computers. So I spent a lot of time in high school just like finding the latest music, like checking on forums. So I don't know. Like I always knew I wanted to do something with computers, but I really didn't have like a set like this is what I wanted to be when I grow up type of thing.
Right. Were you on all hip hop?
Do I know about all hip hop?
I said, what forum? You said you were on some forums.
Like yeah, we used to be on. I was really into like Young Money back in the day. So like there was like a whole bunch of Young Money boards for like Lil Wayne music. Back then like Lil Wayne's music. would drop online, it was like,
Right.
you would have to catch that. You know what I mean? So, and like in high school, I was like selling mixtapes and all that too. So,
Right.
yeah.
Living the true Atlanta lifestyle, man.
Right. I was burning mixtapes, learning. I sold candy in high school. Uh,
That's the way you do it, man. You gotta hustle. That's admirable.
yeah, man.
So you had mentioned you worked retail for a while. Where did you
Yeah.
meet Joshua? And for those that don't know at home, Joshua is the co-founder of GA Followers.
So me and Josh went to middle school together, and honestly, it's a funny story because like Josh, he always joke about him, but like he was kind of like nerdy in high school, and I was not focused at all. So I would usually steal, I mean not steal, but like use his papers for like turning in and stuff like that. He would give me that stuff, and yeah, and then but going into high school, he kind of lived down the street from me, so we hung out a lot, and yeah, when I was in DC, once I moved to DC after high school, I kind of still touched bases with him. And once I started getting some traction with DMV Followers, I called him and was like, "Hey man, like I got this thing up here in DC that's really working. We should start it in Georgia too." And yeah, and he came along. So
Nice. How big did DMV Followers get before you started to go, oh, this is a thing?
I mean, I want to say because we really just started on Twitter at first, but it might have been like 20,000, 30,000 followers, and I was like, okay, like this is something that might stay for a minute. Yeah, and like right now we're not as active as like since I'm down here, like I'm not as active on DMV Followers, but this year I plan on getting more involved and actually like expanding to more states too.
Oh, nice.
So why was Twitter the initial platform that you picked when you first started?
Yeah, I think at the time it was like the hot thing. I remember MySpace kind of dying down and Facebook was kind of used for like college friends and stuff like that.
Personal stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all like personal stuff. And then Twitter was like this new thing. I probably got on it like maybe in 2010. And I guess it was just a opportunity to grow. Yeah. And I don't know. It was the only platform, not the only one, but like it was the main one at the time that was like new too. So
you would you would have like some music, some of your music, then you put news, and then you put like, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I would just kind of like sift my music in secretly, and not like people would download it and listen to it, but I just noticed that people really like I was creating another lane with something that hasn't really been done because we were reporting the news back like in DC there's a certain like every place you go there's like certain lingo that people use that is like nowhere like anywhere else, right? And like in DC what I started doing was reporting the news but like with that lingo, with like the slang, and like people people just enjoyed it. So I started doing it in Atlanta. We don't really do it so much on Georgia Falls anymore, but I try to keep. I don't want to be as like. I don't want to be AJC or WSB TV. It's like I want to mix the culture,
Right, still on the street level, but
right.
but like informed.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Yeah. That Maryland Baltimore accent is insane. I was like, what do you people say?
Yeah. Baltimore. So what's interesting about that area is like DC and Baltimore. Baltimore is like 30 minutes away from DC, right. But the two places have a complete different culture. Like it's like I would compare it to like Atlanta versus like Savannah or something like that. Like
I can see that. Yeah,
it's not the same as Atlanta, and like people in Savannah are kind of country.
Yeah. Which one's more?
A little bit.
Is Baltimore more country than DC?
Yeah. They pronounce two, like they'll say two.
Q.
Or they say hot dude. Like instead of hot dog, they say hot dude. Say hot dude.
Merlin.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Balmer.
Yeah.
That remind me of that they did the Baltimore challenge. It was like Aaron Iron. Aaron ironed a iron urn or something, earned the iron urn.
Yeah,
Earn.
yeah, man, it's crazy up there. So,
That's hilarious. So when you first started, like Georgia followers, and you came down here, was there a benefit of already having a larger audience, with the DMV followers, or did you come down here and it was like a fresh start and you're trying to build that following from the ground up again? What were those early days like? How did you do that?
So one thing a lot of people don't know is at first we called it ATL followers. And while I was up in DC, like I kind of was already building the following just by talking about the things that I did know, artists or like, just following the news. So by the time I moved down here, it was kind of already like rolling a little bit. The wheels were turning a little bit. So yeah, it wasn't as hard, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it definitely grew a lot when I got down here, and I think that just came from me being consistent on it and finding news every day. I don't know. Sorry, that wasn't a good answer.
So would you say, like, when building social media following, what are the most important steps? Like, what are the most important things that you can do to really, reap the benefits of something like that?
Yeah, my thing I would say two things: just be consistent, and content is king. I always say content is king, distribution is queen. So like having content is the most important piece, and then being able to have a following to distribute it to is second. And yeah, I don't know, and like just gotta be consistent. I mean, like people, if you see something that works, like stick with it. Even if it works just a little bit, you can fine tune it from there. And that's kind of what I did. It was like a lot of trial and error. At first, I didn't really I was like, oh, okay, like we just got 100 followers today. What did I do to get that 100 followers? Okay, I need to do more stuff like that. So kind of that method.
So what was like in growing? What was like your single biggest like, damn, like I just jumped up 20K, or damn, we just hit, what was one that just sort of made you be like, God, this is real,
Yeah,
and
there's been a few. I mean, that's happened a few times where like in a day we might gain, like on Instagram we might gain like 10,000 followers. I remember one of those times was like the 85 bridge burning down. When that set on fire, I think somebody had sent us the video before the news stations had got it, and like I guess like live as they were passing it, they just recorded the video, sent it to us, and then like we promoted it, we posted it, and yeah, I just remember like everybody coming to us to see what was happening next, and and that you'll get a lot of followers that way, by having the news first.
Right. So do you do any promo, or is it all organic?
No, we do promo. Yeah,
okay.
we'll charge for posting if you want to post on our profile.
No. I mean, like, in terms of the reach of your own posts.
Oh yeah. Everything's been organic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just having the news first, and that's something that I learned that was interesting. It's like AJC. I always study those websites early on. What I found out is like they just have the reason they're in power is because they have the resources to like pull up. They have a connection with the police department. So when anything happens, like they're tapped in with the police, and they're able to like really just promote a story instantly. Then so when people start searching for the story, like they'll put it on their TV or they'll put it on the website. Once people start searching for it, they come up first on Google. So it's just like just years of that, they just become like the number one thing. So like one of my goals this year is to kind of interrupt that as well, like trying to create our own stories, because it's just more beneficial for the brand.
Yeah, that interrupt marketing. I read this whole book about interrupt marketing and how like, interrupting processes is one of the best ways to just, get a strong foothold. So that's cool that you said that.
Yeah.
So let me ask, how much time do y'all devote to your platforms, your social media platforms?
That's a good question. I mean, on a daily, maybe like I might spend. I don't know. It's so sporadic, man. I couldn't even give you the exact times. I'm like just doing stuff all day, but like I would say it's like 6 hours, a day probably. Sometimes working on weekends. It's really no like set time really, but I don't know. Well, I'm trying to get better at that. Like just like scheduling my time out. Every 30 minutes, just having like a schedule throughout the day. Because before I just been like moving kind of loosely.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be hard because it's like, the way social media is viewed by most people in the world is kind of like a pastime. It's, it's
Right.
not like a job.
Right.
So how did you, when did you take that moment where you go, okay, I'm on a social media platform, but this is now becoming like my job, my career.
Yeah, it's kind of back to like that time period where, I was telling you about how I had to like prove to my family members that like this is something real, and that's when I kind of like just really stepped up and tried to like monetize the following as much as possible. But yeah, to your point, it is hard because I've been working from home. Like I haven't worked since probably like 2009. I haven't worked for anybody since 2009, and yeah, man, like I've been working from home, and it's hard to like delegate, like putting in a lot of effort versus like just sitting on the couch watching YouTube videos. It's hard to delegate that time sometimes, but like after a while, it just becomes second nature, just kind of like work. Especially when like you working for yourself, like it's fun to do. Like y'all are doing this podcast, y'all get up to do it every time just because y'all like to do it. Versus having to work for somebody and like I don't know, you don't really want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes any sense.
Right. The drive is sort of
Yeah.
embedded. Yeah.
Right.
So what is like the biggest benefit or like something that's cool that has happened from becoming like the voice of Georgia on like Twitter and social media?
I remember in 2015 I did a TED talk. Sorry, I did a TEDx talk in DC. That was like probably one of my most memorable things that I've done because it was really challenging for me. I'm not really the one to do like public speaking, but this event had maybe like 1,200 people, and I had never done public speaking before. I almost like tried to back out from it beforehand, and then I ended up doing it. And then when I get on stage, like this is not how you're supposed to remember a speech, but like I had 5 to 10 minutes, I forgot, but I like literally wrote out a speech and memorized it because that's how like I used to do it when I was rapping. Like I would just write raps and then memorize them and then try to like make videos based on what I memorized. So I did that, and on the middle of the speech, I just forgot everything. So I told everybody like, let me take a second. And I remember, yeah, just being like kind of embarrassed, but I ended up finishing it. And once I finished it, it was just, everybody was like, man, I cannot believe you were able to stand on stage still after like forgetting it. Like I would have stopped and just ran off stage. And I mean, that was probably one of my most memorable things that just because of how hard it was for me. I was like really nervous to do something like that. But outside of that, like what's dope nowadays too is like people stop me in the streets where I'm not like I don't put myself out there to where I would think people would stop me, but people do stop me, and I think that's pretty cool.
Like a celeb status, sort of, right?
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Like I don't know. I don't think I'm a celebrity at all, but yeah, like sometimes like I'll go out and people stop me or like want to take pictures and stuff like that. I don't know.
I mean, at the very least, you're a local celebrity.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if Love and Hip Hop try to hit you up. Mona Scott in your inbox. Real quick question. So you mentioned early earlier that, you know, when you were trying to prove to your family members that this was worthwhile, and you mentioned
Yeah.
monetizing. So without getting into too much detail about, you know, the financial aspect, what's like for a person like who's like maybe trying to do the same thing, maybe start an IG page and grow a big following, how do they go about making that and turning that into a job or turning that into, you know, income?
Yeah, I would just, I mean, for me, it really just kind of took time, like doing trial and error. Like we did events for Georgia followers, and we've had failures and a few successes. And you know, we started promoting merch too. Like that was probably the first thing that we kind of monetized our brand off of, like just selling T-shirts, and that kind of opened the door. It was like, okay, like people are buying our T-shirts. Let me figure out like how to you know, do promo, you know, or like. So I know like my case might be different from a lot of other people just because of how large the following is, but I would definitely say that like try maybe selling some merch just to see, you know, just test on why. It's all trial and error, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Micah.
Yeah, you got to figure it out. Everybody's kind of different too, so.
Throw the
I like
shirt up.
that. I just saw that. Yeah, man, that's actually hard, bro.
Yeah.
So that's a brave. That's a brave. I saw that was on your chair too.
Oh yeah. You got
You got the Braves riding the hawk's eye in the fish and the.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even see the hawk's eye. Okay, wait, let me see the hawk's eye.
I don't know if you can see it on mine, but.
Oh, okay. I see that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like details like that, man.
Yeah, what's the design? I don't even know if she does graphics anymore, but
She does. Her name's Kara Stokes. She's actually from Georgia. She lives. She's not here anymore, but she has her own business. She's really good at it. She's a friend of the wife. What's that?
You said she's not here anymore?
No, she's married to a military man, so they move all around.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, quick question. Yeah. What branch was your dad in?
Marines.
Had to ask. I was Army, so.
We had a Marine, one of our co-founders who takes sabbaticals. He's a Marine.
That's one way to put it.
You know, I say it's tough, man. Like growing up under my dad's tutelage, it was he was hard on me up front.
There you go. You can see the hawk's eye right there.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. I like how you just took control of my screen too.
This is what you're about to look at.
Right. Okay.
So you know, as someone several of all of us follow your page. You know, you do the food. You always put people on game on food and stuff.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, what was your favorite, and which one was the most surprising?
I'll say this. We did one of our favorite, like I do these food reviews with Rondell, who does a lot of our video content, and he our favorite restaurant is this place called Big Easy, because it's like kind of close to both where we live, and we usually just like after a long day of partying or something, like we might just like hang out there to like sober up or something like that. I don't know. Or we'll still have like some drinks or something like that. But Big Easy, they sell like Cajun Louisiana food, and that's probably one of my favorites. And then the one that's probably most surprising, we did this Scoville hot chicken sandwich place recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that like I mean before we did the video, I had the hot sandwich, and I was like, I can't do this. We need to like do an episode on this place, and it ended up being our biggest review. Like I think we had like 100,000 views as of yesterday. On that's just on IGTV.
You know the guys over. Sorry to interrupt. You know the guys over at the Atlanta podcast.
Yeah, I don't know them personally, but like they've reached out before.
We just had one of them on not too long ago, and one of the guys just devoured that hot chicken sandwich the other day. I was like, good God.
Really, he did?
Yeah, and he likes hot food though.
Okay. Yeah, that shit's hot. Man, I can't.
I've been meaning to get up there.
How much did you eat? How much of it did you eat?
I ate most of, probably like 3/4 of it. Yeah, but it got to a point I was like, why am I even putting myself through this?
It gets painful at a point.
Yeah.
It's like, man,
water was helping. Yeah.
This has exited the realm of food and enjoyment and inner torture.
Sadomasochism.
So you mentioned Big Easy. That's a spot I know very well. That's right around the corner from my job. So
okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You go there? You go there often?
Not often, but I've had quite a few things from there.
Yeah, you like them?
Yo, yeah, it's good food.
Yeah, good food, man.
Big
They
Easy
got some
grill,
shrimp and grits
grill
over
on
there?
Collier.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there on Collier. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like it has like a lot of bar food, but like their bar food is better than like the typical bar food.
Yeah,
I would say.
It's kind of like that place that we go to, Micah, the Grove.
Yeah.
The Grove.
It's over. It's off of La Vista, or it's in between La Vista and I just blanked.
Right around close to Claire, where it runs in Claremont.
Claremont, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's another taco place down there you probably should try. Taqueria El Vecino.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. That's where it's at.
They got a fried shrimp taco there.
Ooh.
Boy.
Delicious.
Yeah, no, I'm always down for some tacos, man. So
he was talking about it for a hot minute, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll go try these shrimp tacos out for you. And I was like, oh, okay, it's one of these tacos.
Are they better than Mama's? Have you had Mama's shrimp tacos?
I have had Mama's.
I think I have, yeah. And I would still say Taqueria El Vecino is probably the best shrimp tacos I've ever had.
Mama's got probably the best I've had so far, so I got to try that.
Let me put it this way. I told Ryan, I said, if you go and you try that fried shrimp taco, make sure you eat it last. He didn't listen to me, ate the fried shrimp taco before a fish taco, and then afterwards, the fish taco was just like, man, I don't even want this no more.
That's what happens at Mama's, too. It's like you got to eat the shrimp one last.
Yeah, no, I might try it out tomorrow, man. I'm down for some tacos. I guess today was Taco Tuesday, but I'll try it out tomorrow.
Any day can be taco day.
Right.
So one last question about the Georgia followers, just in terms of this year, do you have any goals in terms of like maybe growing the following or just you already said that you want to start doing like more news or reporting more news, like any goals you have in mind?
As far as growing the following, not so much, because like that is something that I really been honing my focus in over the last few years doing it. And it's like I'm at the point now where it's like we've grown so much that like what I haven't done is like grown on the internal side, and it's like having a team, having a strong team, and having, interns and like all, like, so that's one of my goals this year, is just really focusing on back end stuff and like still kind of produce the same content we've been producing, but just focusing on that back end and like having the team. Yeah, because I've really like low key been doing a lot of like most of it by myself, Like even like my co-founder, he's helped out a lot, but he kind of runs, like, he does most of the merch for us and like everything related to the merch. So it's like, yeah, I think with us having 4 or 5 more people on board, I mean, there's gonna be some major changes.
Okay, so you do pretty much all of the posting, all of it.
Yeah, most of the posting. I know. I mean, people, it's hard to be like, but yeah, most of the posting and website posting, like emailing, all everything really.
That's why you said you were up since 6 a.m.
Yeah, I was up 6 a.m. this morning.
You need a few extra bodies in there to help you.
Yeah.
Hey man, you need some sports insiders.
Yeah, hey man, I'll tap into y'all, man. We definitely could figure out something for real. Because I mean, that's also my goal, is just like work with, just all the people who are like really doing shit in Atlanta that,
Right.
Can add value. So
I mean,
I probably definitely will tap into y'all for real.
For sure. Well, we love. I mean, we live and breathe sports, man. Like that's the whole reason we started this, because we've had a group chat for. I mean, I've known Micah for damn near 20 years now. I've known Marco for, like, he's my brother-in-law, and like when we all were like, oh, you like sports too? It was just like it clicked, and that's all. That's where it just started going. We're all former athletes, but we weren't the athletes that could make it. So it's like, how else do I stay involved in sports? So
yeah,
we've gotten lucky, man. We've gotten to talk to some really cool sports guys on this show too. I mean, a lot of the guys from 92.9 have come on.
Okay.
You know, we've had some of the bigger sports YouTubers on. So we love sports. We want to pick everybody's brain about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of 92.9, I recently got into it with Mike Conti.
You did?
That's who was on just like last week.
Yeah. Oh, he was on?
Yeah, he was on last week for sure. Yeah.
That was dope. That's dope. I mean, like, I definitely, like, know I've known about him for years and respect what he does. But I guess, like, one day I saw, like, a stat that he posted. It was, like, Hawks. It was about the Hawks and, like, how they were.
They started 2-0. I remember.
Yeah.
We actually talked to him about that. I forgot that was you.
Oh, okay. Well, I would like to hear what he said so I could see him in the street.
I'll send you the link to the episode.
Okay. But yeah, I'll check it out. And I think we used the tweet, and then I posted it and didn't give him credit to the information. And I was like, I'm really just in the part. Like, I just read why Lucci just got arrested for murder. I'm not crediting because every source is kind of covering it, right? So I didn't think to credit him, and he called me. He called Georgia followers out. Was like, yeah, y'all always stealing content, yeah.
Damn.
And I'm like, come on, man, Twitter is a weird world, bro. Because when you get called out on Twitter, there's a following that kind of supports what you're, the call out,
Mm-hmm.
So it creates that mob mentality. And so a lot of people were like, yeah, fuck Georgia followers, and it's like, all right.
My bad, y'all. Shit.
Yeah, I'm like, Mike, where do you get your content from? Did you pull the stat? And I mean, if you pull the stat, are you giving credit to people who pulled that stat? And he didn't, and he didn't respond after that. But I don't know. I just
fair use.
I got a few short words with him.
That's interesting. That's funny though.
I respect him though. He's a legend in the city.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
That is funny though that we would just so happen to have two sides of the same story because he talked about it and then you're giving it.
We'll host the fish and grits meal to bond the versus battle. Mike Conti spitting bars.
Right. Mike Conti spitting bars.
Mike Conti of 99 The Game versus Pop Jones of Georgia followers.
Yeah, we just call out stats and tweets.
Do you still rap at all? When was the last time you made a track or made a beat or something?
Nah, I mean, not really. I still have the talents to, for sure. But yeah, I don't really focus on it too much.
You off it.
Yeah,
we'll put the SoundCloud link in the.
Yeah, I'm off it.
So let's move into the sports. I know you said beforehand that you're not a big time sports guy, but obviously with what y'all post and the stuff y'all talk about, and just being in Atlanta, it's part of the culture here. It's a big part of it. So
for sure.
The NFL season just ended, and there was a lot of changes going on with the Falcons this year. We lost a head coach. We didn't perform up nearly to the standard, and we're coming to the end of an era here where, excuse me, where some of these players that have been here for so long, we're looking at them as possibly that being the end of that era. So there's a lot of debate. There's a lot of division between fans. And, you even see it on y'all's posts on Twitter and Instagram. People get into it in the comments section.
Yeah. I see that.
So, this is time where the Falcons have to focus on the roster. And where do you fall on the Matt Ryan spectrum?
Oh man, I support Matt Ryan to the end. This is my thing with people. Everybody's like, yeah, Matt Ryan, he's the reason why we're losing. But it's to me, since I lived in DC, I knew what it was like to be a Skins fan or a little bit, and I would say that's probably my second favorite team.
The football team, you mean?
Yeah. Football team. So. Yeah, man, it's I've seen them and how long they struggle to have a quarterback and how most teams really don't have a consistent quarterback, and Matt Ryan has been that. I think everybody can agree he's done a lot for the city of Atlanta. People kind of take that for granted, so I'm always quarterback is one of the most important positions. So the fact that we have a decent quarterback, I'm with him to the very end. But this year, I guess the Falcons have a six pick,
4.
the fourth.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I know a lot of QBs are like they're talking about Zach Wilson.
A lot of
Justin
homegrown products in this draft.
Yeah. Trevor.
Justin
That's
Fields.
Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Right. So
Everybody
I don't know.
keeps mocking us to Zach Wilson for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I like Zach Wilson, the dude from BYU, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I like him. He's nice. So yeah, I wouldn't knock him at all, man. He's straight. I watched a few games from him this year.
And
I'm
there's
not really
even
a big fan
Trey
of-
Lance too, out of North Dakota.
Oh yeah. Trey Lance. Yeah, he's from Georgia too. So yeah, I've been kind of like my little brothers. He played quarterback for Cedar Grove High School.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and he just graduated, but like I've been kind of like plugged in with all the quarterbacks, and because he like trains with all these quarterbacks like the Justin Fields and all that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh nice.
They were Cedar Grove was nationally ranked. They are.
Yeah. I was at every game, man. Yeah, Cedar Grove, they would like that, man.
That how old is your brother? He's is he going to college with it?
Yeah. He got like 30 offers or something, but like they were all like kind of. He went to Eastern Michigan.
Okay.
University. This is like D1. So yeah,
That's still a good school. That's a very good
Yeah,
school.
yeah. And I think he was like deciding between there and like Coastal Carolina. But yeah, so we just flew him up there, like sent him off. So
Nice.
he got his playbook today. He sent me a text.
Oh, so he just graduated.
Yeah, he just graduated from Cedar
That's
Grove.
dope.
That's good that he didn't pick Coastal because I know they're gonna be starting that dude for the next 2 years. The quarterback at Coastal.
Well,
Right.
not even just that, boy. Coastal is a very hard school because
Really?
it's like 45 minutes from Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah.
So it's so easy
It's
to
like,
get caught up in the partying aspect that because legit when I was looking at going to school up there, they said they have like a 50% graduation rate.
Damn.
So it was like,
yeah. So yeah, he went up to Detroit. There's no fun up there. I went up there. I was like, man, you got this one, man. I was like, I don't be traveling too much up here, bro. Nah, I definitely will. But Detroit is a bad city, man. I don't like that place.
Nah, dark vibes.
Yeah, dark vibes, bro. The city is just torn down. I don't know, man.
It's got a
Is that where
rough
Eastern
history.
Michigan is located in the heart of
Yeah,
Detroit?
it's like Eastern Michigan is in Ypsi Landing, which is like probably 20 minutes or 30 minutes outside of Detroit.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I segued on that, but like, yeah, I've been kind of focusing on a lot of these quarterbacks from Georgia just because of him, and like, I don't know, man. I like even when I was watching Justin Fields, I don't really like. I wouldn't. I personally, I know Justin Fields, but like, I don't want him to be a quarterback for the Falcons. I don't.
Okay. Why that? Why?
One, just because he's like, I don't know. I think he's from here. I don't know, man. I also just don't feel like he has that like edge about him too. Like, to me, he's just like, I don't know. I don't want to talk too much negative stuff about him. I mean, he's good. He's really good at the quarterback position, but to me, it's like he don't have the edge to me that like Matt Ryan kind of lacks that a little bit too.
Oh, he definitely lacks it.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to say soft, but like it's like I like competitors, man. Like even like quarterback like Russell Wilson. Like I was talking about him this week. He's like I saw him during the playoff game. He's like guy's offensive line yelling at his offensive lineman. Like like I like to see that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, especially from a quarterback from a leader position. So.
Yeah, I can see. I know Justin Fields. He played through the cracked ribs and everything, and I thought that was tough.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm a little on the fence now too about Justin Fields, just a little bit.
Well, after last night,
Not just after last night, just because the whole idea of throwing Matt Ryan away, and I'm like, if we just get him a running game or something, and maybe not make him throw 40 plus times a game anymore, then maybe.
Yeah. No.
Look at Marco coming back around. Look at this. Look at this.
like I said, you got him for at least another season or two.
Right.
But but he's 35. He'll be 36 this season, this coming season. He's 1 year older. His arm isn't getting any stronger, which was never a cannon. He's not the most mobile, and and he panics in the pocket. You can't build a good enough offensive line to make him feel safe in the pocket. So
that's why we need Najee.
And I don't care how good your run game is. He's gotten hit so many times. He's gun shy even when it's no pressure. So what you got to do, you got to start looking towards the future. I mean, everybody eventually has to move on. And
I agree. I mean, like I'm down for him to, like, Falcons pick up a quarterback, and like I guess I want to keep Matt. I would want them to keep Matt Ryan for like a year or two, and like the new quarterback will learn from Matt Ryan. But yeah, he, like you said, it's a great point. Like, he's not mobile, and all the quarterbacks are mobile now. You know, like just about every quarterback on every team can run. You know, down to Aaron Rodgers. You know, like Aaron Rodgers can get loose if he needs to. Matt Ryan can't, and he's like one of the like him, Tom Brady, like Drew Brees, like even Drew Brees,
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, yeah. There's only a few that can't run flat out, and I think it's old school.
The game is changing. The older quarterbacks are the ones who are statues, and I mean, and of the like Brady and Breeze, part of the reason they've lasted so long because they get rid of the football. Like they'll throw it away before they take a hit. Meanwhile, Matt Ryan's holding on to it, waiting for the deep ball. It's like, dude, you don't always have.
That's because they have him dropping back 40 times a game.
Brady threw the ball 50 times a game, and he still got rid of it.
Yeah, but those were quick. He had an offense that was a smart coordinator.
Yeah, but like I said, it's not. It's granted, it is a lot of it is on Dirk. Was on Dirk, but some of it, like I said, some of it is on Matt just wanting that big play and willing to take a hit to get the big play. And if it doesn't open up, he just still takes the hit. And it's like, well,
I'll just like what Jeremy said. I think that was a great point. Like, you look at other teams, like the football team over there, and then it's just like you all these guys coming in the draft. It's a gamble. You just never know. Maybe besides Trevor, you just never know what these guys are going to be. And to have one of the better quarterbacks, to ever play really, on your team.
That's right.
Just playing devil's advocate.
The way I see it though is, like now the college offenses are becoming more sophisticated than they've ever been, more complex than they've ever been. So you're starting to see a lot more of these college quarterbacks play, like go up to the next level, and they're more prepared to make that jump to the NFL as opposed to, in the past years where like those old Bama quarterbacks, John Parker Wilson and those guys who were just game managers and never had to make a tough throw, and then they get to the NFL and it's just like, oh, run this whole scheme, read this defense, and so on and so forth. I think it's part of the reason you're starting to see a lot of these young quarterbacks that are standouts now, because the colleges are doing a lot more complex offense schemes and stuff, and it's preparing them better for the next level.
Yeah,
but we'll have a draft day episode, and we can go more in depth about the decisions. But Ryan, keep going with your questions.
You had mentioned that you're a backer of Matt Ryan, and you wouldn't pick Justin Fields. So, with the 4th overall pick, what direction would you go if you were the Falcons? Because there's obviously a lot of holes on the team that we need to fill.
Yeah. I'm not really completely sure. Like, I think we should get a quarterback. I just don't. I mean, like, I guess if Zach Wilson is the guy. I don't even know what the draft boards are kind of like saying right now. Like, is Justin Fields possibly fall into the 4th spot?
Sometimes
not.
But they still got us taking Zach Wilson for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with any new school. I like Zach Wilson, man. I think we definitely should plan for the future and get a new quarterback though, build around them.
Yeah.
See what's up. It's time. Like, I mean, Falcons need to, just reinvent themselves.
When we were talking to you, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say the Falcons. I just want them to have a defense one year. I feel like they struggle with a defense like as long as I can really. Like they've had decent defenses, but like never just like locked down. And I think that was supposed to happen with Dan Quinn, but
It didn't.
Right.
I just thought he got hired
react
for the
defense.
Cowboys
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
as a coordinator. So I'm like,
So
Yeah,
the
that-
Cowboys can suck again.
Continue to suck, you mean? That's funny. I'm sure you have some amorous towards the Cowboys as a football team fan.
yeah. I mean, up there it's like 50-50. They say it's like that in Dallas too, but I've never been to know. But like, yeah, in DC it's like there's so many Cowboy fans. So
Really?
yeah, bro. It's like it might even be. Nah, I wouldn't say it might be more, but it's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there. So it's like that football team versus the Cowboys. It's usually like a Super Bowl up there. Kind of like how the Falcons and Saints are down here.
Yeah.
Probably one of the bigger rivals.
That's interesting. I would think it would be more like Redskins, Baltimore, instead of like Cowboys fans up there.
Nah. A lot of older folks from DC, they hopped on that Cowboys bandwagon because they were winning in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the team they follow.
Right.
Despite the fact they're the biggest rival.
Right.
that'd be like being from Atlanta and jumping
After Katrina.
on the bandwagon.
Right. I can see that happening. But yeah, it's a lot of old. You're right though. There's a lot of older people who like support the Cowboys in DC.
Do you have like a time in Falcons history that like is a favorite memory of yours? Do you have like something that just stands out?
Yeah, man. I would definitely say the Vic era. I remember like Vic taking us to the NFC Championship, was it? Where they played the Eagles.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember that game. I was like, man, we about to go to the Super Bowl, but they just didn't show up that game. And but yeah, that whole like Falcons era, Peerless Price and Warwick Dunn,
Roddy White,
DVD.
TJ Duckett,
TJ
like
Duckett.
yeah, D'Angelo Hall, like that. That was probably like my favorite Falcons team. Like
that was a
era.
fun team.
Yeah,
Boy.
even though they didn't win as much, but like they did win. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like the best team to me seemed obviously to be like the 2016 Falcons when they won the Super Bowl. I mean, not won the Super Bowl.
Didn't
Went
miss.
to the Super Bowl.
Should have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In an alternate reality, we won the Super Bowl.
I convinced myself. That we did win. But yeah, that was probably the best team to me. But the most fun was like that Vic era.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any athlete out there that like made me wake up and watch him. Like probably Jordan when I was younger. I watched a lot of Jordan as a kid. Vic was probably that other player. Was like I just couldn't miss him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to watch his games.
Even when he went to Philly, I was like slick a Philly fan.
Yeah.
It hurt.
I watched them games too.
That hurt. You're like, man, that could have been us still.
Well, luckily they didn't win anything either. So
And, Riley Cooper.
I'm just waiting for the like you mentioned the Vic era, and I was just hearing like they were just they came up with a list of the top selling jerseys. I think it was like Tua, it was like Russell Wilson, obviously Pat Mahomes. It was just like I want to get back to a time where Atlanta has a top selling jersey again.
Yeah, true. Because Vic was, I'm assuming he was the top selling jersey.
Oh, for sure. You'd see more of his jerseys in other stadiums than us.
The Vic experience. He had the shoes. And,
Yeah, the shoes.
Oh man. Now I mean the only our top seller jersey wise, I believe, is still Julio, but
Right.
He's not as marketable.
missed over half the season.
Yeah.
So
And nationally,
I'm
like
worried
he
about
doesn't have
Julio.
that. He's not like Chad Johnson where he's in the camera all the time.
Big
Right.
personality.
Yeah,
He's
a
real
low-key
quiet.
superstar, like a low key.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not gonna really talk trash. He just kind of like delivers.
Yeah, people just respect his talent.
Right.
To the point, instead of like celebrating this dude on the sideline coaching,
Right.
he's so serious.
Yeah.
Like, Look at this guy.
Right. I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the Falcons this year.
Oh yeah, I mean it. We can go. If we bounced back and we were 12-4 the next year, it wouldn't surprise people. If we were 2-14 again the next year, it wouldn't surprise people. The identity of this team is so up in the air where you're like, are we really on the downside? Were we a product of bad coaches and
right?
Just the end of the fallout of 2016, or are we a young up and coming team because our defense is really good and all this type of stuff? So it's just like, who are we? I don't even think Atlanta Falcons fans can really tell you for sure who they are because it's so split.
We're at it right now.
It's crazy. But so that wraps up what we call the I forgot to introduce it, but that's the Grits Blitz there. That's the football segment.
Like that.
No,
we can take you want to take a quick break? Or you want to, and Jeremy, if you want to come back with us after and talk a little bit of Hawks, because I know you said you had somewhere to be. So I
gotta run to the event here in a second. So I don't know if I'll be able to join back on later.
Okay. Yeah. What was plug that event one more time?
It's this dang, I wish I knew the name, but it's a barbershop in Midtown. It's called the Anguish Barber. That's what it's called.
Anguish.
And
huh? My barber is about to start working there.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. It's have you seen the barbershop?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, so it's basically like a state of the art barbershop, and they have a bar inside as well.
Oh,
so that's like the barbershop. They have a liquor license. It's like the only barbershop in the state of Georgia with a liquor license.
I see it right here.
Let me get a jacket, coat, and a fade.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they're doing like some chess thing today, and I've been playing chess. I've been playing chess my whole life, but
okay.
Yeah. I know a lot of people been like, oh yeah, like Queen's Gambit is out, and I guess there's like some TV show. I haven't even seen it, but there's some TV show on Netflix about like chess. Yeah.
Oh, that show's about chess.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I just saw the
a
band
woman in chess, and how she is trying to break into a male-dominated chess world back in the time.
Right.
Quick question for you. It actually starts to make sense for me a little bit, but from a young age, you had what seemed like the ability to look ahead and see how things are going to line up. Did chess help you with that?
100%. I was thinking about that the other day. My dad, like really, I thank him for like teaching me how to play. It's like chess helps you think 2 or 3 moves ahead in life, and it's not even just like just with Jordan Falls, but like a lot of things in my life. I'm just like, all right, if I do this, what's gonna happen? How will like somebody react, or like what, like how can I adjust from there? It's a really good game to learn, man. If y'all don't know how to play.
You ever seen the movie Fresh?
Fresh? Nah.
Oh, you gotta watch Fresh.
Oh man. So I mean, it's essentially an old '90s story about a kid, and he plays Lawrence Fishburne as his dad. He meets him in the park.
Oh yeah, I have seen that. I have seen Fresh. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, I've seen that.
Someone's vibrating.
Yeah, that's I think it's it.
Couldn't hear you. What'd you say about Fresh?
Oh no, I just said I have seen it. I remember watching it on the airplane once.
Yeah.
Right. You just didn't remember the name. Yeah, that's a good movie. But it's sort of based around the little park chess game.
Making moves and
For sure.
That's dope. Yeah, man. We appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you sharing your story, talking about yourself, Georgia followers, and all that. We're eternally grateful for you coming on, man, because I know like you've got a big platform. We're just building ours, so we appreciate you coming on.
No problem.
Huge.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime, man. Like I'm willing to do it again too. So just let me know.
Yeah, I'll shoot you my information in a DM, and then for real, if you need some sports guys, it's what we do.
We got takes.
We got lots of takes. They're not always good takes, but they're takes.
Solid.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely keep y'all in mind as I'm building this.
Yeah. So, again, everybody, This is Jeremy from Georgia Followers.
Yep.
We're gonna take a quick break here, and we will catch you on the other side.
All right, man. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back from the break, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. By the way, we are Fish and Grits, the podcast, in case you forgot where you are. Big shout out to Jeremy from Georgia Followers for coming on, talking to us for a bit, and giving us some insight onto who they are, who he is, and that was pretty cool.
Social media celebrity status.
Even though he doesn't like Justin Fields, it's okay. It's okay. It sounds like there's some beef, and he's beefing with our boy Mike Conti.
That was such a crazy coincidence.
I know. I had forgotten who it was when I asked Mike Conti about that.
I didn't even really know what y'all were talking about.
I figured it was probably him, but that was
Whoops.
That's so funny. What are the chances, Ryan? You and your master DMing.
I pit them against each other.
Two sides of the same story. One outcome.
They're now going to have to go into a Twitter battle to the death, but I think Mike Conti might be a little outnumbered in that one.
Yeah.
Right. That's funny when you mentioned that, because that happened to me once, that like getting shot, like when a person of note like says something against you, and then I literally had like 1,000 notifications in my inbox. It was something
What?
like it was one of these conservative this was like 5-6 years ago. It was one of these conservative pundits. I forget which one it was, but I like took something, he was trending, and I just commented, and apparently he saw it, and he run it, and he was like, "Oh, Going Marco is an idiot, blah blah blah." Like he obviously doesn't know anything. And then like 1,000 people went, they're like, "You fucking idiot! Like you're such a dumb." Oh, like just like 1,000 people just started shitting on me, and I was like, "Oh my god,
bro, it happened. It happened to me last year. I was going back and forth with a whole bunch of Alabama folks, because after what was the Alabama safety that played for the Jaguars? Harrison, yeah. After he said what he said about Ronnie Harrison, and I was like, I was just basically like, no, leave the man. The man made it to the pros. Just leave it alone. Oh, you don't know. He should have stayed. And I'm like, you know what? It is what it. I just don't care. Like hundreds of Alabama fans with nothing to do were trying to argue with me about why he should have stayed, and I'm just like, he's making money. It is what it is. Y'all just get off that man's nut.
There's a word for that. I forget what there's like a word for that. It's like getting ratioed, I think.
Yeah, well now. Yeah, well that ratioed is when it's like, say Micah makes a post that says spaghetti's the best. And I comment and I say, actually, meatballs are the best. And then everyone likes my comment more than the original post.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you hear that noise, Marco?
Well, like a grass?
No, it sounds like sneakers squeaking on a court.
No.
Sounds like a ball being dribbled.
Are you having PTSD from your days at in college?
It sounds like the layup.
Oh,
Jesus, Marco. What are we talking about?
What are you talking about?
Oh man!
Like, what the hell?
Do you smell burning toast?
Do you smell what the Rock is cooking? Okay, so I feel like I haven't done this in such a long time. I forgot how to do it. So welcome to the layup, aka the finger roll, aka jelly time, aka points in the paint. So we're in the middle of we're like about 10 games into the NBA season here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cool stuff going around the league. Our Hawks were surprisingly good, surprisingly bad, and so we're going to talk about some of this stuff. So the first thing, of course, in this time of pandemicness, the most prevalent story, at least today and this week so far, has been the fact that the NBA has had to cancel multiple games as a result of players testing positive throughout the league. Yesterday there was a Dallas game canceled, and today a Boston game got canceled. And now the NBA is talking about rethinking their protocols and perhaps even taking another 2-week break like they did the first time that we had this COVID outbreak. So my question to y'all is, with the NBA starting off so good, what happened? Like, why did they start leaning back off all the restrictions? They were doing so well.
I mean, they didn't bubble, so they didn't bubble this time. So people are living their lives. It's the same reason why the numbers keep going up so rapidly now, is because people have taken all these precautions for so long, and now it's just like, all right, if I catch it, I catch it.
Right.
So yeah, people are just being careless now because they're tired of being cautious. So
yeah, I mean, it's the same reason. Like the first, what month are we on? This is month 10 of COVID. 11
started technically in March.
Because February, end of February, March.
Our awareness, our shutdown, yeah. But I guess it started around this time last year.
Yeah.
But up until December, I didn't know anybody that had. Well, I knew 2 people, and they weren't like people I know that have it. They were people, friends of people, or family members of people that I know that had gotten it. In this last month and a half, I've known like 10 people.
Really? Mike is still the only person I know.
No, like exposure wise, like getting close to me, it's been Micah, it's been our neighbors, it's been Nicole's daughter, it's been like,
which neighbors got COVID? Well, let's not put their business out there.
Well, it's the people that we see all the time. Their daughter got exposed at school.
Oh no.
Yeah, but they're fine. So as far as we know, but yeah, it's like everyone's just kind of like, you know what? I'm tired, man. I'm just gonna live life.
Yeah,
it's hard to blame them.
Do you think that they're sort of, maybe overreacting with the 2-week break that they might impose, or not? And they also said that now players cannot interact with anybody at the hotel that isn't like directly on the team. So pretty much they're just saying, don't bring no more hoes to the room.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they're saying.
Who let these hoes in my room?
I mean, are they overreacting? No, because for the reason they're doing it, no, they're not overreacting. They're trying to protect their money, and if your star players aren't on the court, nobody's watching.
Yeah,
right.
You're not going to get competitive games. You're not going to watch. I'm not going to tune into a game if Anthony Davis and LeBron are out. I'm like, who cares?
Well, the Sixers last night.
Yeah. No Ben Simmons. So
Kawhi
no nobody.
They
didn't have anybody.
Embiid and a bunch of backups. So like, they're trying to protect their pockets. So no, they're not overreacting in that sense. Even though, the likelihood of one of these players passing is low, but it's just so viral. It'll go everywhere.
I think the problem, I don't think they're overreacting because it's so contagious. Like I mean, dude, here's and it's crazy. Not everybody will catch it. Like, my situation at work, of the 12 people at my company, 9 of us caught it. Oh, I'm sorry, 13 if you include the manager. 9 of us caught it, and not everybody. Like two people who are very close contact with patient 0, caught. They didn't catch it. They never caught it, but one person had it and was lax and didn't think she had it. She was sick, but didn't think she had it. and was walking around with a mask down around us and wound up giving it to almost the entire staff. So, it's even though the players are in peak shape, what you don't want to happen is multiple players catch it. Yep, most of them will recover, but you might have a few who had like with Von Miller, where he talked about months after catching it, his lungs weren't still right, or Freddie Freeman had real severe case, even though he was good enough once baseball started, to win MVP, but he had a severe case. Or staff, think of the staffers, trainers, they're not in peak shape, so you could lose staffers, and which would also hurt and could potentially open up lawsuits for negligence and stuff if you don't take the right measures.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think I agree with everything y'all said, but especially what you said, Ryan, about the bottom line. They know that if they don't get this under wraps and your all-stars start missing games, if like KD missing games just for being around somebody, not even ever testing positive, then that's about to, it's going to be a tragic fail in terms of all these primetime games that they're trying to market that nobody shows up to. So, I mean, I understand. It's not an overreaction.
Which is funny though, because they started to put restrictions on people trying to load manage, but I mean, I'm telling you, there's still a chance Kawhi might be exposed to COVID 25 times this season.
So he already got to miss some time after Ibaka's the elbow to his face that nearly left him dead. He was on the floor bleeding out. So yeah, I mean, it's possible. Like I was a little bit suspicious about that KD one. Just like, wait, I was just giving this man a early season vacay, but I don't know.
Shit, look at Kawhi. I mean, not Kawhi, Kyrie now.
Mm-hmm. Right. So speaking of,
segue.
Speaking of problematic players who like to break protocol, this was initially James Harden. James Harden has so far been the person who was the catalyst for misbehaving during COVID, and he set a great example. But Kyrie, on the other hand, was recently photographed at a family member's party without a mask on. And this is in the wake of him already missing 3 games, which stemmed from a no-call, no-show about a week ago when Steve Nash was trying to call player coach, assistant coach Steve Nash was trying to call head coach Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie would not pick up his phone, and Steve Nash, defeated, had to come and tell the press, yeah, I tried to call him. I don't know what happened. I don't know where he's at. So they're saying that he's missing this 3rd game, or still missing games. Probably going to keep going. And then he's probably also going to get fined for not wearing that mask, or he definitely will get fined for that. So while we don't know the specifics behind the personal reasons, and we hope that they're really good, some people were sort of thinking, maybe does it have to do with the Capitol? We all know how woke he is. We all know how sensitive he is to, what's going on in the world. But my question is, do you ever foresee a time when it is not all about Kyrie Irving?
In the organization's world or in Kyrie's world? Because Kyrie's world, it's always going to be all about Kyrie.
It's flat. It's his flat world.
I can fall off my world. So I need to stay right in the center where it's all about me.
All about me. The sun revolves around Kyrie.
Oh, man. Personally, it's hard to see that it wouldn't be, because he's what, 20, he'll be 29 this year. Yeah,
so.
He'll be 29 this year. So The only thing that could humble him is him to hit a wall athletically, and him where he can't demand that superstar status anymore. And then he has to kind of change his thought process. Or, I mean, to be honest with you, Kyrie could easily be like Allen Iverson,
I was just about to
where
ask.
Allen Iverson, he refused to be a backup, to take a lesser role and be a backup. So he wound up retiring probably 3 or 4 years before he should have. He probably could have played 3 or 4 more years longer if he had just accepted a role coming off the bench, whether it's 6-man or whatever, just a backup point guard. But that'd be the only thing that I could see potentially humbling Kyrie.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of nailed it with me. It's when you talk about a guy who has all the talent in the world, but it's sometimes up here that keeps him back.
Mm-hmm.
The first comparison I always draw is AI,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean their game is so similar. It just
Mm-hmm.
honestly is, and their personalities aren't similar, but what their personality types have led them to, as far as in the eyes of the media and their teammates, are their reactions are very similar. I'll say that much. So, yeah, I it's gonna take slowing down physically a bit for Kyrie to reel it back in, and by that point, he may not be as effective as he once was. So, you saw AI lose a little bit, and his numbers dropped drastically.
Yeah, or teams will be so fed up with his bull that nobody wants to deal with him at that point.
Yeah, and that's like I sort of wonder is like, what is KD thinking right now? Is he just like, because I know he's close to Kyrie, so maybe it's possible he has a perspective where it's like, okay, well that's just Kyrie, But at the same time, it's like I have a feeling in the back of his mind he's like, I didn't sign up for this shit. Like, but then you did, because we all know who Kyrie is.
Yeah, but I mean, I think KD is one of those people who tries to see the best in a lot of players and hopes for the best, and then when he actually deals with it, and he's just like, I can't. Like with Russell Westbrook. How long did he defend every time Russell Westbrook did something stupid and wound up costing him a game? He just defended him. And Russell Westbrook should have given him the ball late in the game, and instead he forced up a dumb shot and they wound up losing. And no, Russ is a great player, blah blah blah. But then at a certain point, he kind of hit the wall. I was like, I can't.
That point was when he was signing on those Golden State Warriors papers. So that's the second he stopped defending Russell.
But I mean, before he hit that wall where it's just like, I can't be here anymore. I can't do it. And
I always remember this when you're just like this, like, give me the fucking ball.
What are you doing? I'm wide open.
Yeah, and I think that's how it is going to be with Kyrie. It's like he sees he knows as a just off the court, he probably loves Kyrie, but on the court, Kyrie is just he's all more about himself than necessarily winning.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that he would be okay with playing with Kyrie, who's less of a facilitator than Russ, who's a bit more. Granted, his stats are inflated because of the way he gets assists by essentially doing what you do in career mode in NBA when you're grinding for assist badges. You wait to the last second and then pass it to someone. Now you gotta shoot. But yeah, I don't get it. I just don't. I don't like Kyrie as he's an amazing talent, but he's not someone who's gonna I would ever build a team around. Kind of like what Schroeder thought he was.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think it's gonna hamper Brooklyn's success, or do you think their season's gonna go the same as how it would have anyway, pretty much?
I think KD is such an otherworldly talent that he's gonna allow Kyrie the opportunity to excel as a scorer and one-on-one that it'll make them successful for a little bit, but once teams figure it out and really learn, let KD get his. I guess I honestly I couldn't tell you the plan on that team, but I think I would live with Kyrie trying to kill me over KD any day.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Now, granted, the only downside is that Nets team is so talented,
Right.
and they're a good team outside of Kyrie,
Right.
and so really, and I hate to say it. I hate to say it, and I hate because I don't want to wish injury on anybody. I think if Kyrie got injured and had to miss a good bit of time, I think this team could legitimately take off, and I can potentially start to run away with the East as for or challenge for a number 1 seed. But
I'd say before Dinwiddie got hurt, I would say for sure.
Yeah.
But now that he's hurt,
even still, Karis LeVert is still a monster.
Yeah, he went off for like 42 in the game where neither Kyrie or KD played, and they blew out whoever they were playing by like 30.
Bro, and I mean, like I said, even so, if you take if Kyrie, so say Kyrie gets his knee gets banged up again, and it's Karis LeVert and KD. I mean, Karis LeVert could put up 25, 28, 30, and KD could put up 35 easily. So
Joe could put up 20.
Yeah. And so, that's the type of thing they have. But I think the one X factor to them failing is Kyrie being the head coach and Steve Nash just kind of, all right, yeah, go. Let me massage your shoulders, Kyrie.
I know, Marco, you don't really keep up with college basketball, but was Karis LeVert like that dude at Michigan? I don't remember him being like.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
I think he's kind of like Christian Wood.
Where did Christian Wood go to college?
Louisville, I think.
Yeah, I forget it, but
wait 1 second.
College basketball is just so
Nevada.
local. Okay.
Yeah.
No, well, Nevada has been tournament
UNLV
material. They made UNLV, not Nevada.
Sorry, UNLV, not Nevada.
Yeah, but even still, I mean, but it's a similar. You're starting to see a lot of these cases, like because Kawhi, Kawhi came from nowhere and
San Diego State,
and gets in the league. San Antonio develops him, and now he's one of the top players in the league. Christian Wood has been beasting.
Boy,
and
I think I called him in underrated signings.
Yeah, you did. Karis LeVert. I mean, he's another one. Just good. He was I guess he was pretty good at Michigan, but now that he's whenever he gets the opportunity to be the man, he showed out. Like in the bubble, he really showed out. I'm still waiting on the Costco Kawhi showing though.
He's out pretty much for the whole season.
TJ Warren.
He got hurt.
Wow.
What did he do?
I was just reading it yesterday. I think he fractured his foot or something.
Oh,
he had to get surgery. He might not be out for the whole season, but for a majority of it. Yeah. Probably enough to keep them out of the playoffs.
Damn. R.I.P. Costco Kawhi.
Let me see. What were his college stats? Let me see what Karis LeVert's college stats were.
His highest was 16 points a game, which is pretty good in college.
Yeah. Are you looking at it?
Yeah.
Sports reference.
16 and a half.
10.4. So, senior season. He's a 4-year guy, 16.5. I mean, still, he's just one of those guys that, a lot of times it's almost better to look at a player's like AAU just to see like their full bag. Because once they go to college, a lot of times, the coaches will rein them in. Yeah, the system will rein them in, and you're not quite sure what's going to happen there. So let's talk a little bit about the Hawks.
They do it.
They do it.
Oh, they do it.
What,
Marco?
I was about to I was about to nothing. I failed. Drug dealing music. Okay. So the Hawks have been on a recent slide after coming out the gates super hot. This all started when they blew 2 straight games to really, I won't say really bad teams because that remains to be seen, but as we can perceive, pretty bad teams in the Knicks and Cleveland, where we had 15-point leads into the third quarter. Then we lost 2 games to Charlotte, which is another, like I said, we can't say they're bad yet. And they have Gordon, who's, playing hard for that all-star bid right now. But at the same time, as a team that we expected to be like a 6 seed, those are the games you definitely got to win. And we didn't win any of them. So in addition to losing right around that third straight loss, we started to hear, well, let's go through how it actually happened to us. So we watched that game in Charlotte. We saw a game where Trae Young was completely uncharacteristic, probably the worst game he's had his whole entire career. He only shot 9 shots. He was passing up wide open threes. He was literally just trying to move the ball, almost like in a Kyle Shanahan kind of way. See what happens when you,
Right.
And he was literally passing up open shots, just moving it to Goodwin in the corner.
Oh God.
Whatever he was just passing, he wasn't shooting. And then
Goodwin, that's just
right. Like Goodwin's been playing good in the last 2 games.
Yeah, but he can be a walking turnover.
Yeah, he's definitely G League plus. But so Trae was visibly upset in that game. We were all sort of trying to figure out what it was. Was like, is it the Capitol? What's going on? Is it Lloyd Pierce? We don't like Lloyd Pierce. Is he starting now? But then we figured it out. So John Collins in a video session had voiced out loud, and these two had a disagreement about the fact that he does not like the way that the offense is ran when Trae is out there. And that he would like to get in the sets quicker, and that he doesn't want to see Trae pulling up from the parking lot anymore. And in addition to that, our team has been wrecked with injury, especially our Euro players, Gallinari and Bogdanovic, who tripped over his own foot and fractured his kneecap. Goddamn Bogdanovic.
Boy, that was so, like, the way that the torque he put on his knee right there, I was like, oh.
Right. Just run into LaMelo. You don't got to avoid him, bro. Like, I'm not going to call Euro players soft, but Euro players are soft. So anyway.
Their knees are soft.
For sure. So anyway, my question for y'all is, first, do you agree with John Collins and his assessment of the Hawks' offense shortcomings being Trae's fault, essentially? And are you worried about the Hawks in terms of our prognosis of them being a playoff team and being so promising coming out the gate?
Yes and no that I agree with John. He made some valid points. I mean, there are some plays that Trae was guilty of running over and over and over again that was causing our bigs to be out of position because they were constantly having to come up and set picks for him, and it totally eliminated the chance for offensive rebounds. And they were having to dive down after a shot or a missed shot and then not get it and then have to sprint all the way back. So he wasn't taking care of the bigs the way he should have been. He'll hit them on the lobs every now and then, but you got to keep those bigs happy because they protect you in more than just rebounding and more than just setting screens. They protect you in a lot of ways on the court, and if you keep them happy, the game opens up so much. So yes, I agree that there definitely needs to be more passing and elimination of that slash high play. But no, you got to let Trae be Trae sometimes because that's what makes him so deadly, and that's what pulls that defense out 5-10 feet beyond where they should be, and the whole court opens up from there. So John had some good points, and he is a good enough player to where he can say, hey, look, get me more touches. I can score you 20 25, 30, and he's proven that. So, yes, that's true, but also he needs to realize that he's on a team with a great player. So, there's give and take on both sides. And I don't, anything that hits the media is always going to be made bigger than what it actually was in the locker room.
But I mean, but we saw Trey on the court, so that's the only reason I'm sort of
that was definitely a, I'm gonna show you, and that's the youth of Trey right there for sure.
Petty.
Petty.
Yeah, I mean it's 100% petty, and it was definitely of him going, you know what, we'll do it your way one time, and then you'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally nothing, and it was kind of unfair though, because I mean, I think that the ultimate test of that would be Trey isn't shooting, Trey isn't playing well. Rondo comes in and runs the offense for 35 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And you would see what happens. That would be the ultimate test of if what John Collins is saying is true.
Mm-hmm. Like I feel the same way, Ryan. Yes and no. Collins did have some good points, but Trey is still your best player. And so you have to let him be him. And I mean, like I said, there are, he can make some bad decisions that hurts the offense, but his range is one of his best assets. And so we don't want to see you shooting those long threes anymore. But like you say, how many other people do you have that can score in as many ways as he can? So, I mean, that complaint is kind of stupid. It's like, all right, I get it. You might feel that you're the best player on this team, but you're not. There's a reason you'll probably get traded before the end of the season's over. So, they, like I said, you did make some good points, but you gotta let Trey, your best offensive player, do what he does sometimes, because that ultimately that's what makes our offense. That'd be like telling Michael Jordan, we don't like you drive. That'd be like a big telling Michael Jordan, we don't like you driving down the lane because it clogs it up for us too much.
Right, stop catching the ball on the elbow, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, all right, we don't like you posting up. We don't like you posting up guards down there, man, because I don't know where to stand. But at the same time, it's a big part of his game. And if he's putting up 35 a night, let him do him.
Right. That's I agree about. My problem with John Collins saying that is that, John Collins is a nice offensive player. Like, he can hit the three, he can catch lobs, he can get putbacks. But when it comes to John Collins, and that's why him saying let's run more sets, and I'm assuming he means that for himself, it doesn't really look good when you give John the ball to try to score. Like, he doesn't have a good handle, really. Like, he doesn't have a good post game. He's always going away from contact instead of exploding over people. You know what I mean? So I just don't think he has the tools. Like you said, he's good enough stat wise to say something, but I don't think he has the tools to be critical of Trey like that. You know what I mean? Especially leading to how it, got Trey all in his feelings. I'm more prone to be like, yo, John, shut the fuck up. like stop talking. Because, this team is about the wings. This team will go as far as Trey and our wings will take us. There's no sets in today's NBA for players for power forwards and centers. That doesn't win you games. You saw Joel Embiid go off for 30 and they lost by like 40. That doesn't win you games anymore. And then just for the second part of the question, y'all just say if you're, are you worried about, the Hawks?
Go for it, Micah.
Not really. I believe they'll be fine. This is something that they just have to iron out the little kinks or whatever, however you want to say it. Just have a team meeting can easily solve this. Just like they say what they speak their piece, hug it out, whatever, and move on. We'll be all right.
Again, I hate to hedge my bets here, but yes and no. No, because I saw what this team can do, but also yes, I live in Atlanta, so I have an eternal sense of pessimism when it comes to my teams, and when you see them kind of regress to the mean, you're like, oh, I knew it. I know it was too good to be true. So, yeah.
Just a cautious pessimism, I guess.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I feel that way too. So I'm gonna move before I give my answer, whether I'm worried or not. I want to get y'all's opinion on this. So we did play this Sixers team that was severely undermanned. I think they only had like 7 or 8 players dressed, and none of those were their good players. They
Mike
were
Scott
missing
was starting for him.
Right, Mike Scott's. They were missing Shake. They were missing Seth. They were missing Ben. They were missing literally everybody that contributes on their team.
Right.
So what I'll say is I'll take a positive from that, because a lot of times in the past, the Hawks would play a close game with that team. They'd be like, yo, they literally have no one on the court, and this is still a 1-point game for some reason. But they handled their business, and they went and blew them out, despite being shorthanded as well, because we all know the Hawks are shorthanded, even though our core is still there. So I want to ask, is this a positive sign, or is this just us playing an undermanned team? And then as an extension of that, we'll answer that first, and then I have just this little side question about Bogdanovich.
I think this is more so going against a team that was shorthanded and just decimated by COVID right now, because now that Philly has everyone back, they're tied up. They're going into overtime with Miami. So, and that's because they have most of their guys back now. That's the way I view that one. Because if you're missing your starting all-star point guard, point forward, or whatever you want to call him, you're not gonna play as well because your facility.
You mean Seth? Oh, you're talking about Ben.
Ben, yeah. Seth Curry.
You're talking about Ben Simmons, Mister can't play the same as I did since day one of the NBA.
I mean, hey, look, he's got 5 points right now. He's taken 2 shots. He's 2 of 2 from the field.
God, I hate Ben Simmons.
But he's got 6 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals. Yikes, 6. Oh, he fouled out. Ha! So, I mean, the guy makes a difference on a team. It's just in that, like, Magic Johnson type of way that he makes a difference.
I wouldn't even say that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
He doesn't score
that's
nearly
generous.
as well as Magic. But
That's generous.
As far as, like, the inability to guard such a large person handling the ball and distributing. By the way, hold on. Quick shout out. And every time he does something, I want to laugh at Lionel. Nikola Jokic is a beast.
What did he do today?
I mean, what hasn't he done this season? The guy might win MVP this year.
Yeah. He's been balling.
Yeah. I'll show you some of his highlights after this, Marco.
No, I don't want to see no Jokic highlights. I'm good.
Full court, one-handed nutmegging defenders.
No, I'm good. I'll catch it on game time. You don't got to tell me. I fuck with no disrespect to Jokic. I definitely fuck with Jokic.
But no, also but to answer your question, I can see Ryan's point, but I do think it is a fairly good sign, because like you said, all too many times we face teams that have been or not even decimated by injuries. Like we'll play a team like the Lakers, and their whole starting roster will be sitting against us because it's the Hawks, and we'll win that game by like 4 points.
Right.
And it's like we went in there and we actually played a good game and won decisively. So I mean, it lets you know, like, look, we're talented, we can do it, but we just got to be more consistent.
Danny Green has taken 23 shots tonight. 20 of them are 3-pointers.
God, yeah, I'm 9 for 20 from 3-point. I mean, that's a really good stat line. But God, Danny Green, he's one of those players that.
How does he keep getting open?
They leave him open.
Well, I mean, it's just like they giving him the Russell Westbrook treatment, except he's 9 for 20 from 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's what happens when you have a big like Embiid who is dominant in the paint but also passes.
Yeah.
So
I'll just say this. Danny Green is probably one of the most overrated players in NBA history. Even in terms of like, oh, this guy can come and contribute. But every time you see him, he's always like choking or doing something wrong or messing up. Like the biggest highlight for me of his career is when he like hit 9 threes in that Spurs finals. But then the next game he was like 0 for 10.
Right.
It's like Danny Green has never been good, and I don't care what anybody says. But anyway,
old-timey Western bad guy.
Yeah. And I'm a North Carolina fan, so I mean I appreciate what he did for the school, but yeah, man, Danny Green. And then just my last question, yeah, we can be quick on this one. Do you think it's possible that because Bogdanovich has sort of been struggling this season, and I think there's something to adjusting to the role of a bench player that's real. Like you can't, it's not an easy thing to do, and he's obviously struggling. But with him out, do you think that maybe this will give our wings, especially Cam, who's been cold as hell, the opportunity to sort of play without having to worry about getting replaced so quick? Because I know the coaches sort of said that as a positive this beginning of the season, but I almost look at that as like that's not necessarily always a positive to know that if you mess up once, you're coming out the game. So do you think this will maybe help our wings get into rhythm?
Yeah. I think here's and I don't want to sound like the old head, but I find that a lot of the younger generation aren't as feisty or tough when it comes to situations like that, and a lot of them can get discouraged a lot easier. So back in the day, you were always taught, like, if they want to put competition, show them why you deserve that spot. But now it's just like, well, I mean, I was a lot like the players seem like, oh, I mean, I thought I was going to be the guy, so why would you bring this guy in? And it's like they don't like to be challenged, and I don't understand it. But I mean, I do think with no Bogdanovich looking over his shoulder, I think he might be a little more relaxed and can just focus on playing basketball instead of, oh, I can't lose the spot. I can't lose the spot. So it might take a little pressure off of him.
I think it's a good thing for Cam for sure. It's also might be a better thing for Atlanta. From what I've seen from Bogey so far, it was like, okay, you're going to be a bench guy, unless he just caught fire. He was at best a 10 to 12 points per game scoring threat off the bench this year, but Cam gives you so much more, and has the potential to be. So I mean, it has the potential to be a superstar with his skill set if he can just become consistent, and I think he can because he's still 20 years old, maybe 21. And he's hella young, so yeah, I would rather give the opportunities to the guys that we've drafted, to the guys that have a more complete skill set for sure. Anytime you take Cam off the court, you're losing your first or second best defender.
Right, this dude be racking up steals.
Yeah, so I mean, get him on the court, get him in a rhythm, build that rapport with he and Trey as the 1-2. Honestly, Collins would be our 3. if this is a perfect world, even though Collins probably thinks he should be our 1 or our 2. But I think that's a good thing for us for the future of the Hawks, because there's just a lot of talent right there that needs to be honed and learn the lessons on the NBA court.
Yeah.
For sure. And what I'll say about Bogdanovich, just like I agree with what you said. Like, we're seeing he's the bench guy. You know what I mean? He's not a starter. And I think it's like when you have a player like Trae Young, who is as great as he is, and for a fact Trae Young is an extreme defensive liability, you cannot put Bogdanovich on the court with him. Like, Bogdanovich to me should only play with Rondo. Like, those two should only play together. Bogdanovich and Trae Young together, like, the plus minus just gets out of control, because you can't have those two out there because they can't defend anybody. You know what I mean? I know Bogdanovich is slightly underrated defender, but he can't defend anybody. Let's be real.
He's an off-ball defender. He can play
Right.
the passing lanes well, but that's about it.
Right. So, like, I think his role just strictly needs to be, second unit guy. And I hope we just stop teasing him in the starting lineup, because every time we do that, it's bad. It's bad.
I think, honestly, Bogey's the perfect complement to Rondo.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that.
We'll do next week. We'll get more into the standings, because I know it doesn't really make sense to look at standings in such a young season, because there's everybody
back.
Right. Are the Hawks still going to be here? Any surprises? Yeah, everybody's surprised.
Yeah. I'm shocked that the standings changed everywhere.
Brooklyn's in like the 12th spot.
One bad week, you go from 1st to 15th.
Right. So we'll hold that. And this commences the layup, aka goddamn it. This commences the end of. Why is that my favorite word to mess up? This is the end of my segment. Let's keep it. Do we have any before we end the show, do we want to talk about college football and just what happened last night? Or is that even worth talking about?
I mean,
it was a shellacking.
It's shellacking.
Do you think Jamar Chase will still be drafted above Devontae Smith?
No.
No.
He has size. The only thing I think could help Jamar Chase get drafted above him is if he has a showing in the combine, like 4.3s, low 4.3s, and then the receiver drills, his route running's crisp, his hands are on point, like doesn't drop a single pass, then maybe he could still do that, because he does have he's what 6'2".
Who? Devontae?
No, I know Devontae is what, like 6'1", 185 pounds.
175.
But yeah,
Jamar's 6 foot 207.
6 foot, yeah, 207. So that size does make a difference. So if he runs low 4.3s and has a great showing in the combine, his name still could be synonymous with that top receiver position. But
the only thing I see, how did Devontae get hurt last night? Was it a hand or what was it?
Broke a finger, it looked like.
Okay, so yeah, maybe injuries, if anything, could maybe but I know they're not worried about a broken digit. You know what I mean?
You can literally play through that. Did y'all know that DeAndre Hopkins is only 6'1"?
Yeah.
Man, he plays so much bigger.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
'Cause hands are big and he's strong.
Yeah.
And well, the thing with him was he's not a freak of nature athletically. Like, he didn't run a super fast 40 or anything. He plays like a big body receiver. Like, he reminds me of Fitz.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Larry Fitzgerald. That's like Fitz ran a 4.6, but big hands, caught the ball in traffic, well, physical. That's their game.
Should the Patriots take Mac Jones?
It wouldn't be
Y'all
a
see that
bad
picture of Mac Jones?
He even looks like Tom Brady.
I wouldn't
Already
do
got
it.
a dad bod.
If I were them, I wouldn't do it in the first round. But
Why not? He's the most accurate quarterback in NCAA history or some crap like that.
I need to ask Reggie if he thinks Mac Jones is a good quarterback or if he's just a product of being. Because I want to hear a quarterback's evaluation of him.
yeah.
And a Nick Saban fan.
Yeah.
My
true.
I mean, my thoughts. I kind of mentioned it last night. I mean, what Sarkisian learned from that Shanahan offense was evident. And the way he schemed receivers open, not only he created mismatches by, when they were asking why Devontae Smith was matched up with the linebacker, and it was because they killed him with screens early. So they were coming up to play the screen. They shifted their defense so they could play more aggressively against the screens, and it forced a linebacker to have to match up with Devontae Smith, and it's just like, well, yep, you're done. So, he learned a lot. Then you got 4 extremely talented wide receivers. You got a good tight end and a monster of a running back in Najee Harris. And an offensive line who
NFL guys.
one of their offensive linemen has not given up a sack his entire career at Bama.
I feel like they do that all the time there.
Not just this season. 3 years as a starter, never giving up a sack. So it's like
stand behind him all game.
Yeah, bro. Just hide behind him. All right, they'll never get to me.
Right.
So it's like, bro, with all of that, the pocket never collapses hardly ever collapses on you. You have the receivers teams can't cover your receivers. You got a running back who's a beast as a receiver and a runner out of the backfield, a good tight end, and an offensive coordinator who knows how to scheme. How do you stop that? Because like I said, it was so many times Devontae Smith caught the ball and there wasn't even anybody near him.
Right. It's like essentially Mac Jones is the last thing teams are worried about when
exactly. And it's like as long as he can read the defenses enough to get the ball where it needs to go, he's good. And that's and to be honest with you, Sark could probably tell him they're probably going to be in this defense. So look for this route first. It was probably going to pop open. Or if they react like this, then you look for this. And so that's, how good do you have to be to do that?
I'll say it like this. Like there's something to being able to throw dimes to wide open receivers. Yeah. They were nice looking passes. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like every quarterback in the NFL can make those passes. Every quarterback. It's like people, maybe not Mitch Trubisky.
I was just about to say Mitch Trubisky.
Besides Mitchell.
Even though he made some good throws. He did make some good throws in their playoff game. But
the dude just dropped that one. It completely deflated the team.
Well, it wasn't even just that. Then, Anthony Miller gets ejected. And, that hurt because then they're down to Allen Robinson and 4th and 5th string receivers. Right. So it was just like, all right, well.
I'll just call Mac Jones. Like, I'm not going to say he's as bad as this player, but he's like a modern Ken Dorsey. It's like,
arm is much stronger than Ken.
Right, because no one thought Ken Dorsey was near a first 3-round pick. But at the same time, like, he looked decent in college. Like,
his team won the national championship, played in like 3 national championships, won like 2, and this quarterback who's led them the entire time just like, nah, he's not a first rounder.
Ooh. So I've been looking at pro comps for these 2 wide receivers, and Jamar Chase, they're saying he's one of the most complete receivers coming out, and the best analysis that someone could come up for him was a mix between Anquan Bolden and Steve Smith.
Damn.
But Jamar Chase is getting comparisons to Devontae Smith is getting comparisons to Marvin Harrison and Antonio Brown.
That's a GOAT.
Right. I'm like, damn.
But Anquan Bolden and Steve Smith mixed together would have been.
God.
If you would have
That's
got
like-
That's like Julio Jones.
That's a super physical receiver. No, but Marvin, I'll never forget when I lost love for Marvin Harrison, and it
the
was
gun,
when
the Desert Eagle.
No. This was in his playing career. Watching the way, because back then the rules were different. You know, if you got pushed out of bounds as a receiver, you couldn't come in and catch the ball, and you couldn't be the first touch
I know
ball.
what you're about to say.
When the Patriots played them in the playoffs, Ty Law just bullied him out of bounds almost every play.
I remember that.
Boom. He can't catch the ball. All right, I'm just gonna sit in zone the rest of the day. It's like, oh my God. Like, dude, you gotta put some weight on or something. You just like
I heard that's why he started carrying a gun.
He saw visions of Ty Law everywhere. Ah!
Bruh, oh man. And imagine how hard that is on Peyton Manning. At the snap, you watch your number one receiver get taken. What happened?
Did y'all know who's getting hired as the Alabama OC?
I forget who was it.
I'd give you $100 if you can guess right now.
Ooh.
My man from Ole Miss, Hugh Freeze.
Okay, that's Marco's guess.
I don't even have a guess.
If you could think of someone that you would not want, I mean, it makes sense if you actually think about it, but who's just sullied their name by themselves by making terrible decisions over and over again? Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, I actually did hear about that.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So another pro style offense coordinator, and that's another thing that sets that Bama program apart from a lot of these other ones. They take these pro coaches and because they know how to scheme against complex defenses. So when they get to these college defenses, which are a lot simpler, it's like this is light work.
All I have to do is scheme against man and cover 4. That's it. Cover 2 maybe sometimes.
No joke. Like it's the transition from pros to colleges. So except for Chip Kelly, it's so easy.
Well, it's like with Brett when Brett talked about when Brett came on, he talked about Drew Lock and was saying like how Drew Lock was struggling with like match zone. Like it's like, wait, zone in college, zone is zone. They cover their area and whatnot. You don't have people in zone running with receivers and staying with receivers and stuff. It's like,
what do you mean he's in zone? He's running with them.
Is this zone or man? I don't know what this is. So, yeah, man, that's pretty good though. Bill O'Brien.
Who's winning that next year?
I don't know. Bill O'Brien might trade away some of their players. So
Oklahoma.
Oh, your boy,
my boy. Georgia's Georgia's getting a lot of buzz as the number one.
If JT Daniels still got a year of eligibility. So
I heard they're 5-1 favorites to win the championship next year.
Man, I hope y'all do.
Reggie said it last night. Georgia would have been a playoff team if we had let JT Daniels play earlier in the season. And like I said, I get it. He wasn't ready. He wasn't medically cleared early, but like listening to Kirby Smart make every excuse as to why he needed to keep Stetson in and not give that JT a chance.
Stetson's a good kid.
Oh, bruh. But nah, he literally said, well, he's cleared to play and he looks good in practice, but there's no contact in practice. We don't know how his knee's going to hold up when you allow contact. Well, how would you ever know if you don't give him a chance?
I give Stetson a lot of credit for coming out here and preparing, sticking to it.
I'm surprised Reggie didn't even know he was He was well. I'm not surprised, but that he was a walk on.
Wait. What?
Hmm?
Sorry, something just happened and numbers just changed drastically. So I thought Georgia followers had 1.5 million followers, and I go to their page now they have 176,000. I'm very confused.
Oh well.
Don't matter.
Maybe
I'll
maybe
edit
Mike
this part
Conti
out.
ran that many fans off.
You lose 1 million followers. All right. Let's wrap this up. Let's go to bed.
Yeah.
Y'all got
Anybody
anything?
got an idea for lightning?
Mike used to be on a roll with the Lightning.
Yeah.
Now you just thunder.
So I've realized here recently, just because I was bored out of my mind and I've been working essentially 10-hour days because we were going through something to take my mind off things. I showed you this, Marco, but for anybody listening, I've started building like Lego sets, like complex Lego sets.
Oh, is that a Gundam?
It's not a Gundam. It's a Ninjago. And it's not even like things that I watch, but it's like, these are cool. Let me go home and build this real quick.
How long did that take to build?
That guy took about 4 hours.
Gee.
That guy, you can kind of see him. I'll go grab him here in a second. He took like 5 because he was
The pterodactyl.
Yeah, he was dragon. He was 400 more pieces.
You like how I said pterodactyl? Isn't that good? Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh wow. Oh, it's like a what are those things called? A griffin.
No, it's a dragon.
Why does it have 4 legs?
Because it's a dragon.
Dragons have legs?
Yes.
They do?
Not like snakes with wings.
Look at that giant serpent.
A fire serpent.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's just, something I've started doing.
It's like your model car phase.
Yeah, but it's Legos because I'm much nerdier than model cars. We might get out of here without a lightning round question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite dessert? No, what's your favorite? Yeah, dessert.
Key lime pie.
Micah?
Red velvet cheesecake.
Ooh. You might have changed. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go with good old apple pie with a little bit of vanilla.
Warm apple pie.
Warm apple pie.
But with the what is it? The Dutch apple pie or a regular?
I like them all, but Dutch is really good too. I'm a big sucker for apples. All right.
Wait. Red delicious apples, Fuji's, Galas.
All of them.
Hey, I got a number. How you like them apples?
Red delicious, I'd say, is probably the worst apple ever.
Yeah, they're meh. Golden delicious are really good though.
Yeah, I need a little tart. Did y'all know olives are fruits?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that actually. Oh, so since we don't have a lightning round question, I'll send you out with a factoid that I learned the other day. Did you know, and I don't know, someone posted this the other day, but it was, did you know that the tide does not go in and out, actually?
Mm.
So the moon does not control the tide like we've been taught. It kind of does in that way, but I don't have a circle, but this is the Earth, right? And you have the sun and the moon on each side, and it's pulling. This is the Earth. You have the sun and the moon on each side, and what it's doing is it's pulling. What are you doing, Mike?
This is the Earth.
This is the Earth.
According to Kyrie.
Oh, God. All right, here we go. So here's the Earth, right? And you've got the sun and the moon on these sides. And what they're doing is they're pulling, the gravitational pull is pulling in that way. So there's these two bulges of water out here. And so as we rotate around, we actually rotate into those bulges. And so the water just, we rotate into more water is all we're doing. Which is really crazy.
I sort of knew that.
Oh, you did?
It's interesting though how like Instagram has become geography class.
Man, I'm telling you, like when Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson and all them got on there, you're like, huh? What did I learn in school?
So how does that work in Kyrie's Earth?
The water, how would that work? Let's see. So this is the Earth. And there's a whole...
The plate has a slight tilt. Imagine
we all fell off.
Imagine it being like a dreidel. There's a slight tilt to the earth. I feel like flat earthers are just like the QAnon people. They sleep
They
in
are
the same bed.
people.
They sleep in the same bed.
They all sleep in the same unvaccinated bedroom.
Oh man.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Let's go home. Let's call it a night. It was a fun
If
episode.
you like fishing, well, go ahead.
It was a fun episode. Take us out, Marco.
If you like fish and grits and all that sports shit, let me hear you back. Well, fuck.
Everybody, let me hear you say, "Oh yeah, you're."
We'll do that one again. We'll edit that one out because that was atrocious.
If you like fish and grits and all that sports shit, let me hear you. Wait, goddamn, what can
And
I?
everybody,
Let me hear you say.
Oh yeah, you're.
Okay.
All right, so, Micah, if he fucks it up this time, Micah, you got it.
All right.
If you like fish and grits and all that sports shit, everybody, let me hear you say.
Oh yeah, you're.